Hi, today I'm going to show you how to make a little box which would be perfect for the men in your life, maybe someone who's getting married, a graduation or even a birthday, or just to celebrate a milestone such as starting sixth form or something like that. So we're using the Celebration Labels dies and we're going to make this cute little box that looks like a little suit, and it's a little drawer box which opens up and has a little card inside. My one says "so proud of you," but it could say anything you wanted, or you can add treats or favours, whatever you wish. So let's get started. Okay, let's get started while I show you how to make this cute little favour box. I'm using the Celebration Labels dies. I think these are really easy to overlook. They're in our mini catalogue, the Autumn to December version, and on page 58 there's the Celebration Labels dies. They're £33 and they actually have, how many dies? 15 dies in them. I've used them for another project. I can't show that one just at the moment, but they are really stunning. What's lovely about them is they have all the little elements to cut out little features that also coordinate with the stamp set, but I haven't bought the stamp set, I've just bought the dies. So today, to make this project, we're using the largest die in the pack, so this one here, that one. So remove that one and then I'll show you what we're making and how to make it. So you need, I've used basic grey cardstock, and you can use obviously any colour cardstock, but you just need to cut out from a piece of basic grey card. You need to cut out this die. What's beautiful about this die is it's got double stitching, so it stitches on the cutout piece and on the leftover piece, which is quite useful. We don't need the leftover piece for this project, but we don't actually need this bottom panel under here. So I've just been frugal with my card and cut out the bits that I need. So you just need to cut, you can cut a whole one out and then cut this section off, or you can be frugal and cut that section off by laying it on your cardstock correctly. And then you'll be left with a piece that looks like this. And this is basically the jacket of the jacket for the box. Now, you can see that there's stitching on this side, but it also shows on the other side, but not as well. So you want to make sure that your jacket is laid down like that, so when it's folded in, you see the nice stitching detail. So what we need to do first off is we need to score some lines to create the jacket, whatever that's called. The jacket, the side of the jacket. So I'm using the Stampin' Up trimmer here, and the way that I decided that felt right, I'm not really a measurement girl, I'm a by eye girl, is I lined up this die cut to the edge of my trimmer and then I scored. And then if I flip it around and do exactly the same on the other side, then I know that I've got nice even scores. And that felt, when I folded it in, about right for my jacket with a little overlap. Now, for those of you that don't have this trimmer, which I appreciate might be a bit frustrating, I've measured it for you, and it is actually 1 5/8 of an inch, or 4.1 centimetre. Now, it can be any size you want it to be. Don't get too caught up in the measurement size of it. Like I say, the box you make to fit the jacket. So whatever size your box is the size, sorry, your jacket is the size that you'll make your box. Now all we need to do is fold, add a crease so that we can create these little lapels. And that goes from this corner that you've creased down to this little dip here. So just pop it in your trimmer, line up with where the blade or the trimmer dimple thing is, line them up, give them a score, and do the same on the other side. So line them up with the scoring, I don't know what to call that, the scoring, cutting, relief part, and then you're going to be able to turn that back, and that's your little lapel of your jacket. Boom, done. That's probably the most complicated part. Next part is we need to create a little shirt to go on the inside. Now I've cut a piece of white to fit on the inside of this. Basically this measurement here, if I fold it over, this is 11 centimetres by 8 centimetres. Now I know that not everybody works with centimetres, so I have tried to give to work with a different measurement. So I have my inch ruler here. So 8 centimetres is approximately 2 7/8 by 11 centimetres is approximately 4 inches. So I've cut a piece of white that just is slightly smaller, that fits inside the crease lines. My one happened to be 7 by 10 centimetres, and that's 2 3/4 inches by 4 inches. Now I'm going to cut down. I've marked the centre point of this, so I know that this is 7 wide, so 3.5 centimetres will be the centre point. I've marked it, and I'm going to cut down by approximately 1 centimetre, probably about 1/4 inch. So let me cut down. It really doesn't matter too much how far you cut down. And now what I need to do is do a score from the centre of this cut line to the edge, and the centre of this cut line to the edge in both corners. So let's do that. So I line up my centre point on my trimmer like so. If I lay that down, I can sort of see where the cut line goes. So I can always extend the cut line if I haven't cut down far enough. I'm just going to go roughly, and again do the same. So I'm going to line up the centre mark there, line up there, and then you'll end up like this, which means you can then fold it back. Conscious that I'm going to fold, I'm going to need to rub my pencil measurements off for you because they're going to show. So let me just rub those off. Okay, so I'm going to fold those down, and they are your shirt lapels. Of course, they can be more pronounced or less pronounced as you wish. It can be a different collar. Knock yourselves out. So that's the jacket and the lapel collars for the shirt. Now I'm going to show you how to make the tie. The tie is a bit fiddly, if I'm honest, but it's the only way I could work out how to get what I think was a nice looking tie. If you saw me, I was actually trying to tie a tie like I used to at school, but it didn't work. So get a piece of whatever colour you would like your tie to be in ribbon that you have. Fold it in half, so approximately I've got about 23 centimetres long. Fold it in half, and we need something thin and unobtrusive that we're going to loop it over. So I'm going to loop that over a piece of linen thread and pull the tail pieces through here. Now the fiddly part is making sure that you've still got hold of the linen thread whilst you pull. So pull your linen thread tight and pull your tie, and as you pull this, it's going to want to keep bouncing back up. Just keep manipulating it until you're happy with it. I'm very happy with that. And then what you do, just to secure it, I just added some glue dots, which, what have I done with my glue dots? Woo! I said glue dots, not knitting needle. Right, okay, so I'm going to pop a little glue dot under the lapels. This is to secure the linen thread. Let's get that in place there, and get that one in place there. They're going to be hidden, these glue dots, when you fold the collar down. And I'm going to attach my 2 pieces of linen thread, which might now make it a little bit easier just to tweak the tie and make it look exactly like I want it to look. You do need to pull both pieces of your ribbon to get them looking how you want them to. Try and overlap one over the top. Perfect. Now I'm going to have the very small mini Stampin' dimensionals, because I want my collar to lay down, but I don't want it to lay flat. And just pop one in place on both sides, kind of close to the tie. And then I'm going to trim off my excess linen thread. I'm trying not to put my hand over it while I'm showing you. And then when I pop that down, make sure that bit of linen thread isn't showing. If it is showing, tuck it in, glue it down, and there's your little shirt. So now we just need to stick our little shirt into place and trim off the ribbon that we don't need, that we no longer need, and then you can make your tie the desired length you wish. So stick that centrally, top, bottom, left, right. And then I want to have a little bit of my tie showing through the base of the jacket. So I'm going to cut the lower one shorter. And I'm going to cut my top one across like that, and then across like that. So I've got a nice tie shape. And then there we go, we've got a little bit of the tie showing through. So that is the simple little suit. You could make that into a card, you could make it, you could do anything you want with it, which is exactly what I did to start off with. This is the first thing I made, and then I thought, now what am I going to do with it? So I had these black rhinestone jewels left over. I think they're retired, but you could colour rhinestones with black stamping blends, alcohol markers, because then it colours the rhinestone or the pearl, and they stay that colour. And there's your little suit. So then simply it's now the element to make the box. I've created a little slide out box. I'll show you how to make that, and I've just cut down one of our note cards to fit inside, and it just says, "So proud of you." I'm holding it out of the wonk because I've stamped it wonky, but no amount of money could ever show you how much I love you, but here's some anyway. This is the perfect card to put some cash in and give to someone, perhaps as they graduate, or their birthday, or a wedding. Could be a great wedding favour to put treats in, whatever you wish. I did try and make a bride box. Didn't work. I tried to use the same supplies and I just couldn't work out how to do it. So I'm sticking with the male theme. So now let's make the box and the wrap, which is going to be the basis of what I'm sticking my little suit onto. Now, there's no exact science to this. I told you I'm not a measurer. I'm a by eye girl. And what I mean by that is this itself, when I measure it in centimetres, it's just over 7 centimetres by just over 10 centimetres. So I know that this needs to fit on a box. So let's round it up. I'll make it 8 by 11. So this rectangle here is 8 by 11. And I decided I want the depth of my box to be approximately 2 centimetres. Now this is the variables, depending on what you're putting in it. This is how you decide how big your box and the wrap is going to be. So I know that this measurement is 8 centimetres. I've chosen that this is 2. So 2 plus another 2 is 4, plus 8 is 12, plus another 2 is 14, plus another 2 is 16. So I need to find a piece of card that is 16, and then I know this measurement is 11, and again 2 is the depth, so 11 plus 2 is 13, plus another 2 is 15, plus another 2 is 17, plus another 2 is 19. So I know I need a piece of card that is 16 by 19 centimetres, which is approximately 6¼ inches by 7½ inches. And now it's super simple. It's going to score on all edges at 2 and 4 centimetres. Okay, so once you have scored at 2 centimetres and 4 centimetres on every edge, you're going to cut into it to create this shape. So what I want you to do is cut into each corner on the inside of the scored line. So cut all the way down to this 4 centimetre score line. Cut into it here as well. And then cut across. and here to create a little step. Not quite cut that off, have I? To create a little step and an extra piece, just one piece, so you're creating a step with one little flap, and what I want you to do is cut at an angle to make the edges of this one little piece not quite the full 2 centimetre width, so they'll fit in nicely. So what you're going to do is go around every corner until your piece of paper, cardstock I should say, looks like this. Then what you do is you just need to put your glue of choice along the edge piece, and what you then do is you fold the pieces in. So they're going to go in like that, and that one's going to go, all right, we're not catching, okay, we're going straight in with these edge pieces. I'd recommend you reinforce your creases just to get a nice sturdy box, okay? And now what we're going to do is I'm going to put more glue on the smaller pieces, which are going to trap the little flaps and the tabs inside. So get it folded in, and then as you fold it over, make sure you're going right to the edges and it's nice and taut, right at right angles. So I would normally, if I was doing this, pick this up, make sure I'm going right to the corners there, pushing that right in so that I've got a right angled box. Sometimes you make these and the corners are not quite at right angles, and then it doesn't want to slide in and out smoothly. But there is your box. Now all we need to do is make a wrap for that. Now I could give you the exact measurements of an 8 by a 2 by 8 by 2 with a slight overlap, but what happens is this needs to be slightly, and I mean minimally, bigger than the measurements that you have for this box. So the first thing I do is I get my cardstock and I make sure that it's wide enough to enclose my box. Now this is just wide enough. Probably if I hadn't already cut it, I would cut it again and make it just that fraction a little bit longer. So I again do everything by eye, lay it over, mark it with a pencil so you know where to cut. And then I do my first score line just to get a nice crisp score line like this. And then what I do is I push it right in, get a nice right angle. I just need to grab a pencil. And I'm going to mark here. And that's where my score line is going to go. Now it's going to be 2 centimetres-ish. So I've marked it with my pencil line. Now what I'm going to do is score it. It's going to be approximately 2 centimetres-ish, but the ish can make all the difference. So I'm just lining up my pencil line. And when I'm happy, if I fold that back, you can see that I'm not exactly on 2. I'm just about 2 point and a half, 2 point and a half of a millimetre. So it's that small, but it makes all the difference. So now I get my score line going. I've now got my lovely crease to fit around my box nicely. And I do exactly the same again. Lay it down, push it in, make it nice and firm, but not too firm. Mark with my pencil line, score with my pencil line. And this is just going to mean your box will move much more freely rather than to push it in and out. And so this is just a little tip. It also means that you now can make any size little sliding matchbox type thing of any measurement, because once you know your basic 8 by 11 rectangular measurement, you know where you're going. And as long as you've got cardstock big enough, you can make these in larger increments and in smaller increments if need be. So there we have our wrap, and we've got a little overlap here which is going to make it close beautifully and fit together. So let me just get that in here, make sure that I'm happy, make sure it's all nice and taut, which I am. So I'm just going to close this together. I'm going to add a bit of Seal Plus onto my edge of my card and close it up. So let's pop it on there so I know where to close it up to. and push it together, making sure your edges meet beautifully. That's that. Okay, and now it's as simple as sticking this onto the front. Now I felt like it got a little bit lost on the front of my box there, so what I did was I created a whisper white mount for it to go onto to stick onto the front. So just simply add glue to the back of your little suit jacket and stick it down centrally, top and bottom, and then stick this down onto your box, and then you can decorate the card, the contents, the greeting, whatever it is you would like for whatever occasion. So I think these would be really cute for sort of teenage boys or grown-up boys, wedding favours. So many options, so many possibilities. Of course they don't have to be suits, you could make them in fun colourful jackets, you could make them in like Hawaiian shirt fabric, check fabric, you could really go to town. So I hope that that's helped. I hope you enjoy giving it a go, and thanks for watching.